This project is for London Underground, and it is to create step-free access to the Victoria and Picadilly line from the platform level to ground level. The scope of our works include the construction of 2 new lift shafts and the passageway extension under the live tracks. We have completed the first lift shaft, which is a northbound lift shaft, and the passageway extension. And we are underway now with the southbound lift shaft. Towards mid of December, we'll finish the staircase, which is one milestone, and early next year we'll finish the civil works for the rest of the shaft. It has been a very busy 2 years, mainly because the station, Finsbury Park station, is a big hub that has Network Rail and the London Underground services. The station has been kept open during the whole period of the project.
Obviously our project is for London Underground to install the lift shafts. However, we have stakeholders from Network Rail. We have TfL buses. Obviously they've got a bus station at the front and the back of the station. We have GTR who own or are leasing the station from Network Rail. So the amount of stakeholders that we have and that we manage and deal with on a day-to-day basis is quite a few. Everyone wants to be able to make sure that their piece of the pie that you're sort of building gets sort of thought about as much as the other bits.
Because we were digging into an existing station and we had to connect to existing structures, old records, they were not very accurate at times, and there were unforeseen ground conditions, which they needed also a lot of design change, which was constant design change, and subsequently we need to provide assurance to our client and the third parties. And all this was happening on a real time while the men were working. Any impact of not doing it on time or not having a set process would mean that the lads would be standing, commercial issues. So it has been really successful, our process that we've set up to date.
For lift shaft 1, we're excavating between the down goods and the down moorgate, and then on lift shaft 3, you're excavating through platform 5 and 6, which is between the down slow and the down fast line. Down fast line being the East Coast main line. And then what we do is, as we excavate down, we expose the running tunnels of, so for lift shaft 1, it was the northbound Piccadilly and Victoria lines, and for lift shaft 3, it's the southbound Piccadilly and Victoria lines. The temporary works, the engineering side of that is big. We've had this traffic management in place coming up for 18 months. It means that there's a one-way diversion system. This allows us to get concrete wagons in during the day, so we're not having to wait for engineering hours to do any sort of concreting works. So we've actually had to set up a concrete pipeline, which you can see just beyond the barriers there. That runs up between the 2 bridges, runs all the way along the wideway to lift shaft 1. That dives down in through that opening and then runs along passageway forward. Having that in place obviously allows us to do concrete in pretty much any time we need to, which has been obviously a great help, especially obviously with the challenges logistically of actually trying to get concrete there. We're looking, from here to there, 200 metres of pipeline. We've built an overhead gantry system. We can bring the deliveries directly in underneath the crane, use the crane obviously to lift everything off, and we can bring it directly up onto platform 6. Coming up with sort of solutions like this, which is sort of what Spencer and the team are all about, has massively helped us on the project. We've been digging down in between, two underground lines or 2 above ground lines. Getting yourself in between them 2, the Piccadilly and Victoria lines below ground, has relied on obviously some very complex engineering and some very skilled engineering. The project like this, you're already in a frame of mind where you're thinking complexity, so you can deal with those sort of issues a lot quicker and a lot easier than you would on a normal sort of project. They allowed us to shut platform 6 completely. This doesn't actually get used as a passenger platform. Everyone gets off on platform 7. That then enabled us to do a top-down construction, so we could actually go through the surface of the platform and dig all the way down with the lift shaft all the way down to the 16 metres deep. Having the crane here has helped out massively again. That's been another sort of bespoke design that we've sort of created as part of the design, and part of the works has progressed. Spencer's ethos of sort of looking where complexity lies and how we can obviously manage that, things like that have been vital. This is passageway 4. This will be a bit of a spine to the station. You'll be able to walk in through Station Place all the way along this passageway here, which will be completely open, and that will take you all the way through to the new Western Station entrance. So as you walk in, this is your step-free access. You can walk in no steps all the way along, go into the upper lift lobby to go down to either the southbound or northbound underground lines. Throughout the life cycle of the project, LU and ourselves have been undertaking monitoring. So you can see the targets here on the wall. There's above track monitoring, which measures obviously the track. Every 15 minutes they feed through to a system which is obviously run off-site, and then text alerts get sent out whenever it's sort of coming towards a green or an amber or a red trigger. The monitoring plan that we've written for the project, which is agreed by London Underground and Network Rail, details what needs to happen in the event of any of those triggers, and then from there you actually have to come up with potentially, do we have to look at changing the design, do we have to add additional temporary works in, or are we okay that we can happy enough that we can carry on with the construction as it is.
We've been operating on 24/5 basis, day shift, back shift and night shift, in order to cover the works. The job is pretty complex. We needed to have a compact multidisciplinary team to deal with all aspects of the scope of works. The team needed to have a combination of experience ranging from rail to civil engineering to tunneling and mining. So I think everyone within the team is has gone through a very challenging period, but it's very rewarding also, and it will be one of the most complex projects they have worked up to date.
The engineering side of the project to me was just like flip a switch. Yeah, I'm well interested in this project, and the amount of people we've had from LU, from Network Rail, those people come onto site and go, blimey, fair play. This is a proper engineering project. It's challenging. It is tight. It's space, logistics, engineering, all of it. You're battling from a day-to-day basis, but that's why you're in the job that you do, and that's why I love the job that I do, sort of thing.